Plays defensively, get loose balls, get some rebounds so we can play out of our defense.
Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck tonight. Andrew?
Dan, thank you very much. Brenda Olaf brought up rebounding, and that was a bit of a sore point in that loss to Seattle on Sunday.
It was, and I think that's a very critical part of today's game, because you've got a couple of rebounders in Nikki Anasike and also Rebecca Brunson, who are two of the best in the WNBA. That San Antonio and Sandy Brondello's squad has to keep off the boards tonight.
Sandy Brondello in her first season as head coach of the San Antonio Silver Stars. Sophia Young, Becky Hammond hit the floor, both in the top 20 in scoring. As we get to our starting lineups for this evening, you saw Becky, Sophia, joined by Edwige Lawson-Wade, Shamika Holtzclaw, Michelle Snow. And for Minnesota, Nikki Anasike, Simone Augustus, Rebecca Brunson, Hamshatou Maigaba, and Lindsay Whalen, whom the Lynx acquired in a deal with Connecticut, exchanging first-round selections. Lindsay Whalen, who starred at the University of Minnesota back in her home states. Anasike and Snow. Michael Price tosses the ball. And it pinballs to Edwige Lawson-Wade.
Right away, Minnesota going to pick up man-to-man. They've got some height on Becky Hammond right now. We'll see if she is able to free up. That's a nice screen and pop by Becky Hammond to get started.
Snow has the ball deflected. Whalen the other way. Maigaba on her left, Augustus on her right. Instead, Lindsay Whalen all the way and lays it in.
Lindsay Whalen is so tough at getting to the rim, and the Silver Star is going to have to find a way to keep her in front, because she is just relentless at getting into the lane.
Michelle Snow.
Nice.
To Becky down the lane. Rebounded by Maigaba.
Beautifully executed play. Becky'd love to have that one back.
Anasike. Step back. 4-0 Minnesota.
Averaging 14 points a game is Anasike, and she is pounding the offensive boards, providing that big presence inside, complements Rebecca Brunson so well for Minnesota.
Shamika Holtzclaw touches for the first time. Off-balance shot won't go. Brunson her first rebound.
Well, that will be a fun matchup, I think, tonight to keep an eye on. Shamika Holtzclaw against Simone Augustus on both ends of the court.
Edwige Lawson-Wade slaps out of bounds. Let's get to your keys for this evening, Brenda.
Well, the basics. You've got to block out. We've already talked about that. The big three, Shamika, Becky, and Sophia step up. Everybody else play their role.
We will go higher. We will shine brighter. We will go higher. 'Cause today, this is the day we're gonna
Down the court, Becky Hammond had that nice backdoor cut. Shamika backed Simone Augustus into the lane. That time Michelle Snow is freed up, so they've gotten good looks. They need to continue to execute like that and finish the shots.
3 double-doubles this season for Snow in season number 9 out of Tennessee. And she gets the Silver Stars' first point.
Well, with the injuries to Ruth Riley and Megan Frazee, they don't have the depth inside that they did just 8 days ago. And Michelle Snow is really going to have to step up, be a big rebounder. That's why she was brought to this team. They really need her to step up tonight.
Anasike. Whalen. Pass inside is blocked by Holtzclaw.
Great defensive rotation by Holtzclaw.
Becky. Kick out, Lawson-Wade. Lawson-Wade, a 3. Got it.
Good teamwork. Becky Hammond running a little interference to free up Lawson-Wade. Good shot.
After Minnesota scored the first 6, Silver Stars have answered with 5 straights. Lawson-Wade with Sophia Young. Ahead of the pack, Snow on the trail, Holtzclaw on the wing. Edwige finds her. Silver Stars' first lead.
Great play end-to-end by Shamika Holtzclaw. She blocked out on the other end, not allowing the offensive rebound, then ran the court hard, and a beautiful pass by Lawson-Wade.
7 straight by the Silver Stars. Augustus on a curl, and before the shot, it will not count.
Oh.
Shamiqua Holdsclaw with a foul.
Well, I mentioned Shamiqua Holdsclaw blocked out, and then she ran the right. Her head up. Nobody on the backside of the defense for Minnesota. But then Shamiqua Holdsclaw gets called for the foul. She was trying to go through the screen by Anasike, and it looked to me like a moving screen, but Holdsclaw got called for the foul.
Augustus misses the 3 and a loose ball foul. What was interesting about Shamiqua in Phoenix 8 days ago, she picked up 2 personal fouls early in that game and waved off Sandy Brondello. And then late in that game, when she got her 5th, she did the same thing. It was almost like, trust me, I'm not going to get number 6 on you. So she made the call with Sandy. Sandy trusted her. And Shamiqua, after that game, said, you know what, I got tired of losing. And that was one of the reasons why the Silver Stars were able to come back from that 15-point third-quarter deficit and beat the Mercury that night.
No, it was a big win. Big road win for the Silver Stars.
Anasike with the rebound. Holdsclaw the 3-point miss. Whalen bobbles. Micah Ba on the baseline. She'll fire. Battle for the rebound, won by Sophia Young.
Silver Stars doing a good job on the defensive rebound so far.
Look at Michelle Snow beat everybody up the floor.
Again, it's the defensive rebound. When you can get the defensive rebound and ignite the break, good things are going to happen. You're not allowing them to get easy second chance points, and you're getting scores in transition. 4
of the 9 points are fast break points for the Silver Stars. Rebecca Brunson for Whalen. Shot clock at 5. Augustus, step back, off balance, caught the rim. Becky saves for Holdsclaw. 9-0 Silver Stars run looking to add.
Here's what I'm seeing early. Last week at Seattle, the defense would work hard the entire time and then allow an offensive rebound. That's not happening here in the early going. The Silver Stars are playing good defense, being connected, keeping Minnesota out in front, and not allowing the second chance points here early.
Whalen hook pass, Brunson jumper. Ends the 9-0 run. Brunson has 4. Well, Sandy Brondello was very candid with you and I after that game in Seattle. So we know what they worked on during the week.
And Sandy Brondello, when I talked to her at shoot around today, said we got back to the basics. We did some basic blockout drills.
Little inside, little outside for Michelle Snow, who has a half dozen.
Michelle Snow coming out inspired today. I think she had a little time on the bench in practice this week. Jane Appel coming in for her, and she has really come out strong, inspired play.
2-on-1, Hammond, Holdsclaw, Becky. 3, fouled, and nearly had a chance at a 4-point play. Instead, the WNBA's best free throw shooter will have 3 free throws when we come back.
Such great work by Becky Hammond because she was watching Holdsclaw, but the defenders were closing down, and Becky gets a chance to go to the free throw line.
3 for Becky when we return to the AT&T Center. Silver Stars have used a 9-0 run in this first quarter. They have an 11-8 lead on the Minnesota Lynx here on Fox Sports Southwest.
What the Silver Stars have done well here in the opening moments, but they are so devastating. Brunson and Anasike so good at getting to the offensive glass.
Monica Wright will be important. Candace Wiggins out for the season for Minnesota. Ruptured the Achilles in her left leg at the end of their win over New York on Tuesday.
Yeah, with 8 seconds left in the game. It's just heartbreaking.
Sharday Houston deflects the entry for Snow. Whalen, count it, and 1 opportunity for the Minnesota point guard.
She is so good at creating. I already mentioned that she's just relentless getting to the rim. So creative with the dribble, can change pace. Gets to the other side, look, uses her body, leans in to Lawson Wade. Uses the English she needs to get it off the backboard. That's why Lindsay Whalen is so good. And in 2008 was second in votes for league MVP behind Candace Parker.
So important to Connecticut's success. And in Minnesota, bringing her back home. Sophia Young. Now Holdsclaw. Past Augustus. Blew right by her and laid it in.
Wow. great explosion around the corner. She took that one extra dribble that she needed and went right by Augustus.
2-point Silver Stars lead. Sharday Houston. Jump pass to Whalen. She'll fire a 3. Rebound Becky Hammond. Holds claw. Kicks back out. Silver Stars reset. Holds claw. Just attacking the basket. Rebound Augustus.
Silver Stars with the aggressive offense that they need. They're getting to the paint. Simone Augustus just a little off today. She's been seeing both Shamiqua Holdsclaw and Sophia Young defend her and having a tough time getting the ball up over them. That's the strategy for the Silver Stars, get a big defender on Augustus.
Brenda, she missed 9 games. That's a lot of shots she's got to make up. And Simone, you know what? I kid about that. That's not going to stop her missing that shot.
Okay.
She's going to keep. She is a scorer, is Simone Augustus.
Well, and in that game against the New York Liberty on the road, after they had beaten Tulsa in back-to-back games to get a 2-game winning streak, they're at New York, and in the second half, she scored 18 of her 20 points in the second half of that ball game.
Sophia Young in a crowd. Sophia finishes and one.
We're seeing the Silver Stars be much more aggressive than we did last weekend in Seattle. Being at home, taking that lesson to heart, knowing that they need to attack with the pass or the dribble. Player after player for the Silver Stars is getting into the paint, and Sophia Young getting around Sharday Houston, keeping the ball under control, going up in traffic, making it count.
So Sophia, who's 10th in the league, 16.5 points a game. Gets her first 3 of the night. Silver Stars back up by 5. Monica Wright with the basketball along with Lindsay Whalen, Anasike Houston, and Rashonda McCants. Jane Appel guards Anasike. Monica Wright's hit her first 2 shots coming off the bench.
Monica Wright, a tremendous scorer at the University of Virginia in her rookie season.
She had 32 off the bench against Phoenix in June. Second most for a non-starter in a game. Holds ball, hits, she has 6. The first was against the Silver Stars when Angel McCautry had 34 last August. And when you look at that list, a player by the name of Becky Hammond had 28 against Cleveland back in 2003. No wonder Dan went out and got her. He's tired of watching her do that against him. Jane Appel with the rebound.
Appel and her role coming in, she is getting more healthy every day, more comfortable with the offense, and they need her to have that physical presence and get those rebounds and bang. You just see her bang underneath.
Whalen with the steal and the assist.
Whalen is going to find the open player. If somebody is streaking down the court, she will deliver the pass.
Monica Wright a half dozen. Whalen, 3rd in the league in assists, just behind Becky Hammond.
We talked about earlier how the big 3 are getting involved, and nice no-look pass from Hammond. The shot clock was winding down. Holdsclaw flashing into the lane, making herself available, and Hammond delivering the pass.
Becky went 2 for 3 on the line last trip. That was her first miss of the season. She made her first 25. She hits that. Renika Hodges has checked in for the Silver Stars as Shamiqua Holdsclaw sits. Hodges, the former Minnesota Lynx.
You know, and I look for Hodges to have a breakout game tonight. Being able to play against her former team, she just really hasn't gotten untracked offensively. They need her to.
Whalen again to the basket. 7 for her. Anytime you see a point guard like Whalen, 64 free throws coming in, that's a point guard who can get to the hoop. Not unlike the way Becky can get to the basket.
That's why I think it's such a fun matchup. They're 2 players that are so good at their craft.
Becky called for a carry. And it's the 12-year vet, Hammond, being guarded by the rookie, Monica Wright.
And she's going to work.
Well, we saw Seattle on Sunday. They put the big guard, Svetlana Abrasimova, on Becky. And you wonder if other teams are going to do that. LA had done it a couple of playoffs ago, putting the big guard on Becky. Step back, Whalen, no good. Rebound of Pell. Second for Jane. And as the quarter ends, Becky nearly buried the shots. Back and forth in that first quarter. Minnesota scored the first 6. Silver Stars would score the next 9. And it's San Antonio by 3 over Minnesota, 22-19. Shamiqua Holtzclaw a half dozen in that first quarter. Michelle Snow running the floor. She has 6 as well. It's the Silver Stars by 3 after 1.
An auction of memorabilia presented a check of nearly $2,500 to Animal Care Services, which here in San Antonio is trying to make the city of San Antonio a no-kill city by 2012, thus preaching responsible animal care. So once again, a great community gesture by the San Antonio Silver Stars.
Dan, thank you. All that starts from the top as well, as that is quite the initiative headed by Spurs Sports and Entertainment, the owner Peter Holtz. Number of these Silver Stars players, dog owners. Sharday Houston's hit a 3, can't hit that, and the loose ball foul, Jane Appel. We mentioned Jane Appel, and I think Sandy Brondello's done a great job of picking and choosing, not just the injury of Jane, you had to manage her minutes, but she's really picked and chosen the games and the situations in which Jane will succeed in this early part of the season.
I think you're right. It's unfortunate that Ruth Riley has gotten injured for a number of reasons, but the fact that San Antonio not able to take as much time bringing Jane along. I mean, she's being thrown into action here now in this last week, but she had the time to establish herself and get her feet under her before that happened.
Renika Hodges launches the 3 and hits Renika Hodges.
I said this might be a game that Renika Hodges finally gets an offensive flow. Sometimes it takes going against your old team to remember how that felt to be so potent offensively. That's a big shot for her.
5 on the shot clock. A lot of standing around for Minnesota. 2 to shoot, 1 to shoot. Monica Wright, shot clock violation.
Shamiqua Holtzclaw is being very active defensively. She's had a couple of blocked shots. She's using her length to really bother the Minnesota offensive players, moving her feet. And here she switches. She gets the switch. She stays with it, gets the block shot before Wright can get it up before the shot clock expires.
Holtzclaw, Young, Appel, Hodges, and Darling. And as Helen running the lane, she's fouled off the basketball. Rebecca Brunson checks back in. We'll get our first look at Nuria Martinez out of Spain.
You know, I think Minnesota has come in here and done what they need to do on the road. They've had a good start. They've shared the ball. But I'm really impressed so far with the start by San Antonio. You can tell they took to heart what happened in that game at Seattle. Everybody's contributing with the injuries, and they're shorthanded. And everybody playing together and hard on both ends of the court so far.
Helen Darling with a drive, too strong. Sophia's there, powers it up, and that'll fall.
See, another aggressive play, getting to the rim. It didn't go down the first time, but Sophia Young is right there to get after the offensive board.
Monica Wright and Simone Augustus. Might be a foul trying to go through traffic, knocking down Monica Wright.
I think she got her money's worth on that foul. Jane Appel off the ball, was getting screened, ran over the screen. That offensive rebound by Sophia Young is very significant in my opinion. Going through the stats and really studying them, if you look down the offensive rebound column for San Antonio, they've only been in double figures in offensive rebounds 2 times this season. However, their opponents have been in double figures every time except 3 times. So it's an area where the Stars are giving up 6 to 8 points a game. So Sophia Young's offensive board and putback, I think, very significant.
First points for Simone Augustus. It's always nice to say in the second quarter. Sophia. Snow offensive rebounds.
Wow.
Back-to-back offensive rebounds for the Silver Stars. Young the previous possession, Michelle Snow on this possession.
You know, and a lot of teams are going to be physical with Michelle Snow. They know that that's the MO, to try to get her upset, to try to take her out of the game, be physical. But that time she took a couple of hard knocks and still went up and scored.
Brunson knocks it out of her hand. And you better be ready to go when you're going up against Rebecca Brunson, because you're going to have to be just as strong.
Because it's going to be physical down on the block. And watch Michelle Snow. She goes and gets the ball, takes the hit with the body, and still able to go up, use her length, go up over the top and get the bucket.
Michelle Snow has 8 to lead the San Antonio Silver Stars, who themselves have a 5-point lead. Silver Stars 29 and the Minnesota Lynx 24. We'll continue from the AT&T Center here on Fox Sports 7.
They needed to bring to try to get this win at home tonight.
You and I have talked about this. You and I talked with Sandy about this. When we talk about rebounding, it doesn't just fall on the centers and the forwards to have success. It's got to be team rebounding. Your guards must rebound also, must they not?
And they should, and on both ends of the court. It's not just defensively, because San Antonio runs defensively a very intricate system, a lot of schemes. They do a lot of switching, and so that puts you on different players, so everybody has the responsibility to block out and go get the rebound.
You saw the Valero game summary, and part of that was the 13-8 rebound advantage by the Silver Stars. They have the 3-point lead. Nikki Yanasike, points number 3 and 4.
So good at that step back, creating space for her shot.
Holtzclaw lobs for Snow. Traveled, took an extra step.
Just a little out of position as she caught the ball. Good play, pretty well executed. Holtzclaw put the ball up for her, but the defenders pushed her just enough to get her out of position, and then she commits the travel.
Lindsay Whalen back in the game. Yanasike sets a screen, the hard hedge by Snow. Thrown away by Augustus, the steal by Sophia Young.
Good defensive rotation once again for the Silver Stars.
It's almost like Sophia knew what Minnesota's play was. That's someone who knows the scouting report right there.
You bet.
Hodges. Ball fake Sophia. Too strong. Brunson the rebound. 5 boards for Rebecca Brunson. Yanasike step back again. That won't go. Snow snatches her 3rd board.
And because she steps back so effectively, you've just got to get up and obstruct her view and get her away from the rim as much as possible. But she really good at that move.
Whalen off the Hodges miss. Into the corner for Augustus. Steps inside the arc, rolls off, Holtzclaw rebound.
Another good defensive scheme by San Antonio. Everybody doing what they're supposed to do.
Sophia taps back, but into the backcourt. It was deflected. Well, since it was tapped back, it's a backcourt violation. Minnesota, though, almost playing into Silver Stars' hands in that there's no movement. For the Lynx, a lot of times we're seeing them run their play with 10 on the shot clock.
Well, and they like to set a lot of on-ball screens for Lindsay Whalen because she's so good at creating. And Cheryl Reeves, so many years as an assistant. She was an assistant at Charlotte and then as an assistant under Dan Hughes at Cleveland before being at Detroit with their 2 championships, and now in her first year as a head coach, as Sandy Brondello is. But they like to run a lot of that high ball screen for Whalen, and right now the Silver Stars are switching on that and really stopping it and making it ineffective. So they've got to, Minnesota has to go to their next few options, and they're getting way into the shot clock when they do it.
3-point Silver Stars lead. Becky back in. Michelle Snow in double figures with 10.
San Antonio is really looking to Michelle Snow tonight, getting her more involved offensively, a lot off the screen and roll, getting the ball up to her high so she can go to work.
Perfect 4 for 4 from the floor. And with a couple of free throws, she's the first in double figures. Augustus overholds Klon. Second personal on Shamika.
We talked about Michelle Snow off the screen and roll. She sets a screen, slips. Anasike stepped out just for a moment to help with Hammond. And Snow freed up, and a beautiful pass by Becky Hammond, who's #2 in the WNBA in assists. Lindsay Whalen, #3. We had Sue Bird last week, #1. So you're watching these last few games, the best distributors in the game.
Becky already with 6 assists in the first half. Augustus hits both. 4 points all in this quarter. 3-point Silver Stars lead. Hammond with the basketball, Lawson Wade. Young holds Klon Snow. Starting 5 out there. Anasike. Micah Ba to the basket. Count it for Hamshatu Micah Ba, the continuation.
And she was defending Becky Hammond on the other end of the court and then sprinted the court in transition. We're able to get the basket. Goes hard all the way, and you can see Sophia trying to reach in and grab her. That's just an aggressive play by Micah Ba getting to the rim.
Can complete the 3-point play. Silver Stars continue to hold the lead. Now just a point. High-low. Michelle Snow 5 for 5 from the floor.
That is a beautiful job of going up and getting the basketball, being under control, and powering it up by Michelle Snow.
7 assists for Hammond.
Look at that defense by Holsclaw, keeping Augustus out in front. Made her work for it.
She did, didn't she? Three seconds on the Silver Stars.
Are they even down the court 3 seconds?
I was thinking the same thing. Three-point Silver Stars lead for Sandy Brondello. 33-30, they lead the Silver Stars. Excuse me, they lead the Minnesota Lynx. Michelle Snow in double figures. She has a dozen. Silver Stars by 3. Perfect 5 for 5 from the floor for Michelle. She averaged 13 and 8 in 2006 when she was still a member of the Houston Comets. She was an all-star that season. Always one of the more athletic centers. When she came in with Houston, that group in 2002 added more depth to that team. Comets team could put a 14-16-0 run on you like it was nothing. Simone Augustus, 6 1/4.
Becky Hammond got matched up against Simone, and the Silver Stars have been able to put a much taller defender on her most trips down the court, and that time she just was able to take it at Becky.
Snow is fouled. Augustus continues to grimace as she got caught over the left baseline.
Well, Becky was all over her as she went up. Beautiful crossover, but then as she lands, yeah, you can see right there on that injured knee that she has the brace on, grimacing, limping over to the sideline.
Right sneaker of referee Billy Smith.
Certainly don't want to see that for all that Simone Augustus has been through.
By the way, what a week injury-wise in the WNBA. We know here, Ruth Riley, Megan Frazee in Minnesota. Candace Wiggins gone, as Augustus will head to the Lynx locker room. Candace Parker out not this week. Former Silver Star Shauna Crossley hospitalized with a staph infection. Will miss Tulsa's trip to Atlanta, Ruth was saying. They were talking. They should be back. Betty Lennox will have knee surgery.
You know, and with the 11-player roster in the WNBA, that makes it very difficult for a lot of teams. And if people don't understand that the WNBA does not have a system where people can be put on an injured reserve list and you can call up others. That's not the way it works. That if you lose a player to injury, unfortunately, you're out of luck.
You're playing with 10.
You're playing with
Right.
10 or playing with 9, and they don't use a concession or a, not sure the right word, the needing extra reinforcements until you get down to 8 players.
So the Silver Stars 9 are dressed tonight. Sophia Young lays it in.
That pick and roll working very well for the Silver Stars tonight. Becky Hammond doing such a nice job of leading her teammates with beautiful passes to set them up.
8 assists for Becky. Anasike. Rebound Sophia Young. Again, that stagnant offense for Minnesota. Sophia straight away launching a 3. Knew it was short, followed her shot, laid it up and in.
That's a case of the shooter knowing exactly where the basketball is going. And Sophia Young, not the type to sit and mope about a missed shot. She immediately went and got the offensive board.
Whalen to Sharday Houston, and Houston nails her second 3 of the quarter.
Lining up, giving her a little too much room to look at that shot.
Silver Stars will call a timeout with 1:09 remaining until halftime, and ahead 38-35 on the Minnesota Lynx. Silver Stars were up 3 at the end of the first quarter. They've led by as many as 6. That lead is cut in half once again. 38-35, the Silver Stars lead Minnesota. It's the Silver Stars by 3. We'll come back to the AT&T Center here in San Antonio. 0.4 left on Hoops and Hounds night here at the AT&T Center. Silver Stars, the 3-point lead on the Lynx here on Fox Sports Southwest. A large variety of signature charbroiled hamburgers and chicken sandwiches, including the Western Bacon Cheeseburger, plus hand-scoop shakes and made-from-scratch biscuits, baked hot and fresh every morning. To find the Carl's Jr. location nearest you, check out carlsjr.com. Lindsay Whalen for Sharday Houston. Ball fake on the 3, steps inside the arc. Hammond with the rebound. Darling ahead of her on the left. Hammond, Darling, Snow, Young, and Hodges. Michelle Snow powers her way to the baskets.
Went away from the double team. She's feeling confident tonight, aggressive to the rim, a big basket to extend that lead before halftime.
15 first half points for Michelle Snow. Shot clock, game clock, just about even. Whalen underneath, out to Houston. The 3 misses. Snow, a rebound to end the half, and what a half for Snow and the Silver Stars. 15 points, 6 rebounds for the Silver Stars center. As the Silver Stars scored 7 of the last 10 points of the half, and they carry a 5-point lead. Becky Hammond, 8 assists in that first half. 40-35 is the Silver Stars lead on the Minnesota Lynx. Stay with us. Halftime's next. Silver Stars
On the boards, you've held Minnesota to 41% shooting in that first half. Would you say your commitment to rebounding and defense is the difference in the game right now?
Absolutely. I think we learned our lesson from the Seattle game and doing a much better job on the boards. It has to continue to happen for us to win this game.
Offensively, are going to keep pounding it inside to Michelle and Sophia until they prove they can stop it?
Absolutely. They're doing a great job on the boards and also in their interior presence, and we continue to go there.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Andrew?
Dan, thank you. The Silver Stars have as many rebounds at the half as they had in the entire game in Seattle on Sunday, 23. They got out-rebounded 46-23 in that one. They're up 23-12 Off balance shot, Whalen knocked out of bounds. Minnesota will keep the basketball.
You know, another thing that should be noted is San Antonio has really kept Rebecca Brunson in check, and she spent some time on the bench in the first half, but they've really done a good job defending her because she has had double-doubles in 7 of the last 8 games and only 4 points in the first half.
Shamika Holtzclaw, her 3rd rebound of the game. Minnesota, 2 cracks, couldn't score. Sophia Young. 5 on the shot clock. Amshatu Maigaba, coast to coast. Layup short. Offensive rebound on Asike, deflected by Holtzclaw. Hammond the other way.
3rd block shot of the game by Shamikwa.
Hammond will use a Holtzclaw screen. Ball fake. Becky spin in.
Beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. Using the on-ball screen from Holtzclaw, knifing her way in, the ball fake, using her body to get the shot up.
Augustus. 5 on the shot clock for Simone. Kick that ball out of bounds.
How about that? Michelle Snow with a little on-ball defense on Augustus. Now watch this. She gets the screen from Holtzclaw, comes around. Watch this ball fake. Sells it, goes and uses her body to shield so she doesn't get the shot blocked. Uses the right amount of English. That's vintage Becky Hammond.
She has the ball in the corner. Snow turns into a double team and earns 2 free throws.
You know, Becky Hammond last year was number 2 in the WNBA in scoring, only behind Diana Taurasi. And what I've seen in today's game is she is much more happy setting up her teammates. And well, that set up that last score because she had 8 assists in the first half. That little ball fake on the pass allows her to go to the rim and get her own basket.
She had the double-double in Phoenix, 21 and 10. I'm talking with her after the game, and I know you're not supposed to ask a question you know the answer to. But I asked her, what do you like better, 21 points or 10 assists? She said 10 assists every single day. And this is where I think her game has blossomed since coming to San Antonio. And no offense in New York, she had to score with the Liberty the end of her tenure there. But here in San Antonio, we've seen that development of her and the playmaking ability of Becky Hammond.
When you add Shamikwa Holtzclaw to the mix and you have that other playmaking guard on the court, and Hammond then can pick and choose when she wants to create her own shots.
8 now for Simone Augustus. But she has those 8 points on 11 shots. She's 3 of 11 from the floor. Micah Ba guarding Hammond. Now Sophia Young. Shot clock's going to run out on the Silver Stars.
Yeah, just couldn't get it going that time. Becky Hammond, I thought, was open on the right side when Sophia Young was up top trying to make something happen. If she would have maybe just kicked it over to Becky, she had an open look at a 3. But give Minnesota credit for the defense they played in the lane that time.
10th Silver Stars turnover. Minnesota scored 11 points off those. Off the basketball, they're going to get Envige Lawson-Wade.
San Antonio continues to switch on that on-ball screen, and that's creating some mismatches inside, but Minnesota really hasn't been able to take advantage of it because there's so much pressure on the ball and length on the basketball, they can't see it, or there's been good defensive rotation in the lane.
Augustus catch and shoot. Holtzclaw's 2nd rebound of the half, 4th of the game. Augustus picks up the foul.
See, Becky Hammond read that very well. She had Augustus running, had her on her heels, put her head down, tried to turn the corner. Becky really didn't have anywhere to go with the basketball that time, but she was intent on drawing the foul that time.
Holtzclaw will inbound.
Nice.
I don't know how you guard her. I'm going to say that right now.
I don't think you can. I mean, you've got a player like Simone Augustus all over her. She has to take one step back to respect the drive. Holzclaw pulls up for the J.
Micah Bob. Turnover, the 6th on Minnesota. Becky's going to wait for reinforcements. There's the drive, stripped.
She had the right side of the lane open, and she was going to go hard all the way. That's good defense that time by Augustus.
Sharday Houston comes in for Nikki Anasike.
I've already seen her hit a couple of three-pointers.
Brunson and Snow tied up right side of the lane. Take a look at our Valero recap. Becky Hammond out assisting Minnesota. Remember, Minnesota has Lindsay Whalen, 4 of the 7 Lynx assists for Whalen. Whalen goes for the steal, but fouls Edwige Lawson-Wade.
Well, and I think that speaks to how well San Antonio is defending the on-ball screen. They've allowed Whalen to get to the rim a couple of times, but they've switched on a lot of the on-ball screens and gotten a taller defender up into Whalen, so she can't get that clean assist off the pick and roll they like to run.
Sophia Young catch and shoot and hits. 11 for so.
And when the shots go in, it just looks so pretty, doesn't it? Looks so easy. And you know it's not.
Sharday Houston.
See, there's that switch. Snow gets out on Whalen.
Brunson with a drive, and she earns 2 free throws. Sophia's second. Sometimes Brunson just gets that mindset, I'm going to catch, lower that shoulder, and go.
And that's exactly the look she had in her eyes that time.
Second in the league with 11 rebounds a game. She's averaging a double-double this season. Misses that free throw. She averages 14 and 11 tonight, 4 and 6. And believe me, when she was with Sacramento, she put a hurting on the Silver Stars.
Yeah, she had a couple of big games last year against San Antonio late in the season.
Stress fracture in the leg is limited with her really the last couple of seasons for her. 7th season out of Georgetown. Holtzclaw to 2, too strong. Travel, Lindsay Whalen.
I saw something up the left side that just wasn't there. She's playing a little frustrated right now, watching her body language, and she came over here to the scorer's table and was saying something to the scorer's table about the fouls, and just looks a little out of sorts right now.
Almost like the rest of the team's not moving quickly enough. Taking too long for things to develop. Steal by Sharday Houston.
Well, and we talked earlier how some teams try to defend Becky Hammond with a bigger defender to give her problems. That's what San Antonio's done on these switches. Whalen's facing those bigger defenders. I think it's frustrating her right now.
Augustus with the baby hook, no good. And in fairness, at times we're looking at mirror images. Not just 5 and 9 for Minnesota, but they had players coming in. They missed a couple. Wiggins came in late. Augustus came in late. Brunson came in late. So there's still that adjustment period. But it's Michelle Snow leading the Silver Stars with 17 and 7 in this one. And the Silver Stars have the 48-38 lead on the Lynx. Dollars get you a ticket, hot dog, chips, and a drink. Visit sasilverstars.com to purchase tickets now.
I was speaking with Sophia Young after shoot-around today, and of course she played for Baylor and the 05 national championship team, and she said a couple of her teammates are going to be here tonight. I've been looking around the crowd to see if I can see them, but Shamika Scott and Chelsea Whitaker and Jordan Davis on that team are here. She said we're having a little mini reunion tonight.
Nice. Silver Stars have their largest lead, 13. 11-3, they've outscored Minnesota in this third quarter. They are 4 of 6 from the floor. Minnesota 1 for 7. Length of Shamika Holdsclaw. Knocks that ball out of bounds. Rashonda McCants comes in. Amshatu Maigaba sits. And Jane Appel will check in. Holdsclaw sits. So going with Snow and Appel. And we've seen Snow and Riley play side by side. Now Appel gets to do so with Michelle Snow.
Yeah, we haven't seen this combination much this year. Wow. Wow, did Rebecca Brunson get up for that?
Guessing that stress fracture's healed. Because she couldn't have done that. There was times she could not. When she first came in the league, she did, but right there, it's a great option to have on the inbound. Ball fake Sophia.
Nice. Ooh.
Appel gets blocked by Sharday Houston.
It was a great pass by Sophia Young. Good recovery by Sharday Houston. That was not an easy defensive play to make. Appel looked to have an easy layup, and Houston recovered.
Becky stepped out of bounds.
I was giving Becky a hard time today at shooter, and I said, you look a little tanner than the last time I saw you last weekend. She said, it's been hot here in San Antonio. Give me a break.
Little tanner. As she joked, it's the Italian in her. Sharday Houston is fouled, count the bucket, and 1 opportunity. She's hit 2 threes already. Now she gets a chance to do it the conventional way.
Now, don't count Minnesota out. They have won 3 games in a row, 2 of them on the road, 1 at Tulsa, 1 at New York. They've got a lot of scoring options. When you can bring Sharday Houston off the bench, who's averaging 11 points a game off the bench. Monica Wright off the bench averages just under 10. And even though Cheryl Reeve is operating without Candace Wiggins, and our best goes out to Wiggins. We understand it was a successful surgery on her Achilles tendon, but just heartbreaking that she has to go through that. But Minnesota be right in this game with so many scoring options.
13 now for Sophia Young.
Good patience that time by Young.
Well, when this Minnesota team got off to that 2-9 start, you almost had to look twice at the standings because the moves they made in the offseason, you're thinking, wow, this team's a contender.
Well, without Simone Augustus and with a lot of new players, it's taken some time.
Third on Rebecca Brunson. Whalen for Montgomery move as Minnesota's in the penalty. Whalen and Montgomery switching spots, Minnesota and Connecticut. And boy, has Renee Montgomery just flourished in Connecticut as well. As a point guard, you got to love playing for Mike Tebow and that offense and the options that you have there with the Suns. Snow now with 18 points. Special thanks to Christus Santa Rosa and HEB for their continued support as the 2010 Silver Stars season presenters.
Well, you have the opportunity for Renee Montgomery to go back and play in front of the UConn fans, and Lindsay Whalen to go to Minneapolis and play in front of the Minnesota fans. And then that series of trade allows Connecticut to also draft Tina Charles as the #1 pick. So benefits for both franchises out of those trades. Kelsey Griffin, of course, drafted out of Nebraska, then traded to Connecticut.
Did you get a chance? Have you gotten a chance to see her in Connecticut? It looks like she's really worked on her body a little bit. She looks stronger. Not that she was out of shape at Nebraska, but what she's done in a couple of months.
And I had a chance to talk to her just a couple of weeks ago, and she's just so excited about the opportunity and understands what she's going to need to do to be able to contribute and work so hard. Always had a great work ethic at the University of Nebraska and understands that's what it's going to take for her to make her mark at the pro level.
It was a fun team to watch play, Nebraska, and watch her. She just has, you could just see the desire she played with. Monica Wright. 9 points for her.
That's what you think about some of the Big 12 players of the year. You got Sophia Young making her mark in the WNBA. Nicole Oldie, still active, playing for Phoenix, was a Big 12 player of the year. Kelsey Griffin. Courtney Perez, however, did not make the team at Chicago, has some injury problems, so we'll see if she is able to get back in the mix. She's been playing overseas, but we'll see if anybody picks her up here in the WNBA.
Helen Darling for Jane Appel. Kick back out, Becky Hammond. The shot may have been blocked. To your point, though, you can play in the Big 12, you can play in the WNBA.
Absolutely.
You're getting tested night in and night out. Sharday Houston in double figures.
Well, it's been the #1 conference RPI the last 3 seasons, and when there was the talk of the Big 12 possibly breaking up, you were looking at breaking up the best women's basketball conference in the country. But everything's still intact, with the exception of Colorado and Nebraska leaving to different conferences.
Turned over by the Silver Stars, and Minnesota's within 8 with the basketball. 1:30 remaining third quarter. Appel with the hard hedge.
Good job that time by Jane Appel, understanding what she needed to do. Now she's got to go to work here on Augustus. May need some help.
Short rebound, Hammond.
It was good help by Sophia Young, understanding Appel was in trouble one-on-one.
The entry pass, Whalen with the foul, and with Minnesota over the limit, Sophia Young will shoot. Sophia's lone free throw came in the first quarter. Her numbers tonight: approaching a double-double. She had 25 and 10, 108-105 win in Phoenix.
And then came back and didn't shoot very well against Seattle, and I spoke with her about that after practice today too. She said it was just such a frustrating night because she wasn't shooting well, and then they were making so many mistakes, either allowing offensive rebounds or turning the basketball over. And she's the kind of player that's going to come back and practice and work hard. She will anyway, but she wanted to rectify that situation.
Augustus, the lay-in, she has 10. We always joke when Sophia has a bad one, look out, next team.
That's right.
She rarely has back-to-back bad shooting nights, and that goes to the point that you just said. She will get right into the gym as soon as she can. Believe me, if she didn't have to leave Seattle, she probably would have worked out at Key Arena after that game.
Zone defense causing the Silver Stars to stand around a little bit.
Augustus with the rebound. 30 seconds left, third quarter. Augustus with the basketball. 10 to shoot, 20 left in the quarter. Brunson offensive rebound. Tied up by Appel, and she traveled. Jane Appel is going to get the foul.
Now Brunson again active on the offensive boards. Jane Appel gets called for the foul.
The foul has to be after this travel, does it not?
You think, and boy, Jane Appel got knocked in the jaw first. That sometimes happens when you're a rookie, but
if you're a rookie or if you're wearing 00, Ruth Riley seems to happen. Brunson. Shane didn't realize, but Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Duddy are fighting over at the Alamo Dome tonight. Brunson makes both. Nearly stolen. Lawson Wade gets it back. She's got Holt's claw. Instead to Becky, the floater. Count it.
knew exactly the time, situation, saw Holtzclaw, but knew she could get it up at the rim before the end of the quarter.
7 in that third quarter for Becky Hammond, 11 for the game. The Silver Stars able to beat the buzzer and extend that lead to 8.
As they were able to get it through the pressure defense, Hammond knew exactly what was going on. Shamiqua Holsclaw had been pushed under the basket. Nice little finger roll, gets it up off the rim. Becky Hammond doing what Becky Hammond does.
11 for the game. Sophia Young 15. Shamiqua Holsclaw 8. But it's Michelle Snow 19 and 7. Silver Stars the 8-point lead at the end of 3. Fourth quarter when we return to the AT&T Center. Hoops and Hounds night. Minnesota zone to start this fourth quarter.
We saw that at the end of the third quarter, and it took the Silver Stars a little out of rhythm offensively.
Sharday Houston knocks the ball out of bounds. Houston with 11 to lead the Lynx. 10 apiece for Augustus and Monica Wright.
Ooh.
The looping pass for Holdsclaw ends up hitting the rim. Whalen the other way. She has 7 points, but she scored all 7 of those in the first quarter. And just 4 assists.
San Antonio has done a very good job of defending Augustus. That time again, she got switched up on Hammond. She feels some confidence with her size going up over Hammond. When Young and Holsclaw have defended her, she has not been effective.
In this zone, Brunson's in the middle. And she has Augustus and Houston on the sides. The 3 over Monica Wright by Becky Hammond, in and out. Whalen rebound. Silver Stars lead 6.
So they do it again. They go for the on-ball screen. They know San Antonio's going to switch. That time Augustus can't score over Hammond.
3-ball falls.
Some good chemistry between the two of the Stars, and Holsclaw and Hammond. Holsclaw doing a good job setting up Hammond that time for the shot.
Lead back to 9. Whalen misses the layup. Sophia Young snatches her 8th rebound. Trying to thread the needle, stolen. Monica Wright. Whalen on her left, Houston on her right. Instead, she'll pull up. Short. Houston keeps alive, but to Lawson Wade. Becky, another 3. Oh, she's on fire.
See, she had missed the three-pointer a couple of possessions ago, but Shamiqua Holsclaw knew that she was close, and when you're a shooter and you're close, you want that next chance to try to bury the shot. So Holsclaw got her the ball, and once she gets one, watch out, because Becky Hammond is on fire now.
Back-to-back 3s by Hammond, and the Silver Stars lead the Minnesota Lynx by a dozen, 65-53.
Quarterback on the court. She's a playmaker. She can create for others. She can create for herself, or she can spot up for the 3. She is so valuable in so many ways to this franchise.
And quickly, the Silver Stars defense runs on. Sandy was able to give some last-minute instructions. Monica Wright, catch and shoot the 3. Short, over a leaping Brunson. Leaking out is Becky Hammond. Wright getting back. Followed by Holdsclaw, but it's Hammond who's fouled on the layup by Monica Wright. And the Silver Stars, off that miss, getting up the floor and beating Minnesota to the basket. Becky Hammond, 2 free throws.
Well, the thing that we mentioned also about Becky Hammond as we go on and talk about her value to the team at the beginning of last game against Seattle is that with her injury early, she was not practicing with this team. And so you've got all these new components in Shamiqua Holsclaw and Michelle Snow coming to try to fit into the team, and Becky isn't in practice with them to develop that chemistry. So finally they made the decision to have her sit out for a couple of games to heal her injury. Now she's back practicing with the team, so they have practices to develop the chemistry and not just rely on time in the game. And I think you're finally starting to see some of that chemistry.
It's hard to develop trust during a game, right? That's got to be earned and learned in practice, does it not?
Absolutely. And trust on both ends, the defensive rotations they do and what they do offensively.
Hammond, her 9th assist to streaking Sophia Young, who has 17.
That's Sophia Young understanding what Becky Hammond can do with the basketball. If she's going to run along the baseline with the ball, Sophia Young is going to dart down the lane and make herself available. You can see those two that have played together now for several years here in San Antonio. They definitely have that chemistry, and that's what we've seen Becky Hammon grow in her mojo, her chemistry with Michelle Snow tonight and with Shamiqua Holtzclaw. It's starting to come together now for the Silver Stars.
Brunson for Micah Bob. Stripped by Hammond. It goes out of bounds. Minnesota will keep the basketball.
Becky Hammon knows that teams like to isolate her. At only 5'6", she's an easy target, but she is so scrappy and so feisty, and when her team rotates well to help her out, it's not a problem. That time she got her hand on the basketball and stripped it to block the shot.
A 10-2 Silver Stars run, and they're up 14. Underneath Brunson is fouled. Snow's going to pick up the personal.
It was good execution. We saw earlier in the game Rebecca Brunson come off of a screen and they threw the ball up over the top and she went up high and got it. Well, that time Michelle Snow was on her and you could see she was standing up straight not to allow that pass over the top, and Brunson just made a jab move and went inside her and caught the basketball and forced Snow to commit the foul. Very well executed inbounds play.
Second of 2, 8 for Brunson. Lawson Wade with Hodges, Hammond, Holtzclaw, and Snow. Shamiq with a fadeaway on the baseline. Brunson's rebound. Number 9 for her to go with 8 points. Sharday Houston misfires on the 3. Hammond has Lawson Wade on her right. Loop for Snow. Lay it in. Michelle Snow, 21. A season best for her.
And 10 assists for Becky Hammond.
Another double-double for Becky, both points and assists. Second time in the last 3 games.
We've talked about how wide open this Western Conference is behind Seattle. Seattle's definitely established themselves out top, but everybody else chasing, and that's why this game's so important. And Becky Hammond has done a tremendous job tonight of finding Michelle Snow. They're going to defend her and front her. That makes an easy target to go up and over the top and let Michelle Snow go and get the basketball. And that's exactly what Becky Hammond has done tonight, leading her with those great passes.
What we're waiting for in the other 5 teams in the West is who's going to take ownership and take control. You can't just depend on everybody else losing. Becky Hammond. Travel.
Becky grimacing in pain.
She got hit in the upper left leg. Remember, it was the right quad that had her out for a couple of games. That's what Brenda was talking about earlier here on this drive. She kind of got knocked off stride and twisted that left leg. For Shonda McCants. Her first points come on a 3-ball. Halfway through the 4th quarter. Michelle Snow, an offensive rebound. Holtzclaw with a save. Go Globetrotter-esque right there.
The crowd showing some appreciation. That is just good court awareness.
Lob for Snow. Foul. I know it's a simple play, but we talk about that length of Holtzclaw, and right there she saves a backcourt violation and gives the Silver Stars a chance to add to their lead.
Yeah, it's not just the length, though. It's her court awareness and her coordination. She went up and got the basketball and then had the awareness not to just toss it away, but to take some time and find the open player.
Michelle Snow's made 8 of 9 free throws.
She has to save it. She's stumbling. She gets it under control. One-handed over, sees Hammond moving away from the basketball.
Now 1 away from a career high, Michelle Snow. She has 23. 9 of 10 from the line. She's shot just 69% this season. Silver Stars just locking up Minnesota.
There's a little bit of a swagger right now to San Antonio. Becky Hammon is definitely playing with it. I see it in Shamiqua Holsclaw and Michelle Snow.
Silver Stars have their largest lead, 16. It was 59-53. Silver Stars 16-6. McCants is fouled. Snow's going to argue verticality. I don't think she's using those words, but that's the crux of her argument.
Good interpretation.
McCants, who just hit a 3, will go to the line for the first time tonight. Second-year pro out of North Carolina. .67% from the line, Rashonda McCants. Next Silver Stars broadcast comes your way Tuesday, July 20th. And please note the start time of that game is 11:30 a.m. That morning, the Silver Stars will host Swin Cash, Lauren Jackson, the Seattle Storm. It's right here on your home for the Silver Stars, Fox Sports Southwest. There will also be a Fatso's viewing party. Our next broadcast, you can watch it at Fatso's, July 20th, 11:30 a.m. Silver Stars, Seattle Storm here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Andrew, something I wanted to comment on is I think some teams sometimes can get so caught up in trying to take advantage of the mismatch that they take themselves out of what they like to do offensively. Over and over here in the second half, I've seen Minnesota try to isolate Becky Hammon, whether it's with Augustus, who is going to get the ball a lot anyway, or McCants, who just comes in. They try to get her the ball the last couple possessions because Becky Hammon is defending her. And sometimes you can just get so out of a rhythm because you're trying to do that, and sometimes you just need to do what you do well.
This just in, Michelle Snow missed her first shot from the floor.
Wow.
She made her first 7. Holdsclaw picks up her third personal. Michelle Snow, 7 of 8 from the floor, 9 for 10 from the free throw line, 23 and 9 for the Silver Stars center.
You know, what you want to see is consistency from Michelle Snow, because she has this ability to put up these kind of numbers. She has been fantastic tonight, but then she has games where she really struggles and in some ways takes herself out of the game. If she could play with some consistency, how dangerous would this Silver Stars team be?
Maiga Ba, just her second basket. With 3:10 remaining, Silver Stars, some patience, owning the 14-point lead. Kick out, Lawson Wade, a 3. Got it.
Beautiful use of the pick and roll yet again, but that time Michelle Snow feels the double team, can't go up easily, finds Lawson Wade wide open for the 3 before the shot clock winds down.
Now Michelle's just stuffing the stat sheet with that assist. Whalen's first points since the first quarter. She has 9 for the game. She had 7 in the first. Silver Stars shooting 54% from the floor. Minnesota under 40. Someone opened the door on Becky.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
And with the night she's had tonight, she can have that mulligan.
And if it's going to happen when you're up 15, and that's what Becky and the Silver Stars are. Up 15 on Minnesota, 78-63 with 2:11 remaining in the fourth quarter of play. We'll come back for the final moments of the fourth with the Silver Stars holding a 15-point lead on the Lynx. Right there.
You think they're counting the dogs?
I don't know.
I think that's
Did they buy
probably
a ticket?
human count.
The tickets?
I think they probably got in with their owners, don't you think?
Part of the special night. Silver Stars do it in the summer. The San Antonio Rampage, the AHL hockey team, gets a chance to do it as well during their season. Holdsclaw with a foul, number 4 on Shamiqua. Renika Hodges checks in. Former Link or Lynx? I say Lynx like Red Sox. He was a former Red Sox. At least that's what my Boston friends tell me. So I'm applying that to Lynx as well. But
I think so.
you know me well enough to know I could be wrong.
I think whatever you say is right. Everything you say is right.
You know what? You're going to be my partner for a long time. You know that? Brunson has 10 points. Becky Hammond, 19 and 10, second double-double in the last 3 games for Becky with 10 assists. And she had in Phoenix. Deflected Simone Augustus. Augustus has 14 points on 6 of 19 shooting. Michelle Snow deflects that ball out of bounds.
I think the way the Silver Stars have defended Simone Augustus tonight has been impressive. They've gotten up in her space, haven't let her have easy 3-point shots, which she's been shooting very well from 3-point range on the season. And they're right there to contest. You know, Simone Augustus has only been to the free throw line 2 times in her 5 games back. She's not going to typically go all the way to the rim. She's going to pull up for that jumper. And San Antonio, with a longer defender, has really caused her problems all evening long.
Sophia Young straight away. Volleyballed to Anasike, who's had kind of a quiet night also. Nikki Anasike 4 and 4 in her 27 minutes. She'll go to the line. Sophia Young with the foul.
At the beginning of the game, we talked about the keys being you've got to have the basics and block out. Well, the San Antonio Silver Stars have done that. They've blocked out. They've won the battle on the boards. I said the big 3 and role players. Well, Holdsclaw actually didn't get to double figures. The third of the big 3 ended up being Michelle Snow tonight. But a good look at Sophia Young and Shamiqua, and then aggressive offense, and that may be the biggest key. The first one, the blockouts, and the third, the aggressive offense. We had so many pick and rolls, and Becky Hammond throwing it over the top into the lane. Points in the paint were a big factor in tonight's game.
34 points in the paint for the Silver Stars. The rebounding edge is 36-23 plus 13 there. 12-point lead with 40 seconds left. Darling, Hammond, Hodges, Snow, and Appel. Becky to the basket, lays it in. Now 21 points to go with her 10 assists. 17 points in the second half.
There's no place like home.
Nothing like it. 10 fourth quarter points for Becky. Venitra Hollingsworth has checked in for the first time, misses her first shot. Shot clock off. Time to wind the clock out. The Silver Stars win for the 5th time this season. They move to 5-7 with the 80-66 win over the Minnesota Lynx. Becky Hammond, 21 points, 10 assists for her second double-double. 17 second half points as the Silver Stars ran away from Minnesota. Michelle Snow, 23 and 9, a season high 23 points. The 9 rebounds. She got this team started and started rolling. Impressive win for the Silver Stars, bouncing back from their loss in Seattle. 80-66.